Hi, and welcome to Yoga Snack with Mara. My name is Mara Watts, and I am the founder and owner of Mara Watts Yoga. And I am super excited you're here because for today's yoga snack, we're going to be focusing on our feet. We tend to neglect our feet, just like we tend to neglect our fingers and our hands. So I think it's really important that we pay attention and dive into these muscles and take note of this area of the body because it's so important and we spend so much time on our feet. So to get started, if you'll sit up nice and tall and take one foot into your hand and just begin to massage. Begin to massage the fatty parts of the foot down into the arches, rubbing in that area, maybe even lengthening the muscles. You may even give your heels a good squeeze. You may even massage in the tops of the foot. And then what I'd like for you to do is I'd like for you to take your foot and the opposite hand, we're going to place the fingers in between the toes. And then if you'll stretch the other leg out, and we'll place this foot here and allow this to open up a little bit. So we want to stay here with our fingers in between the toes for a few big breaths. Your fingers don't have to necessarily come down to the webbing between the toes. That may happen eventually, it may never happen, just as long as you have the toes spaced out, okay? And while you're here, you could even roll out your ankle one way and then the other. You could even move the foot in any way that feels nice, that kind of gets this area moving and rolling. And then we'll rest for just a moment, sitting up tall. A few big breaths. Try your best to resist the urge to grip. So relaxing in the toes, relaxing even in this hand here, so that this is more of a natural, as much as it will be natural, kind of opening and stretch for the toes. Two more big breaths. And we'll take a big breath in. And then as you exhale, start to release the fingers from between the toes and wiggle your toes a little bit. Take note of how that feels, how it feels between the toes, how the foot feels. And then we're going to switch. So the opposite foot comes in and we give it a good little self-massage. So massaging in the fatty parts of the foot into the arch, lengthening out those muscles, using your thumbs to really get deep into those ligaments and those muscles that are there. You may even squeeze the heels and give the heels a good squeeze, the toes a good squeeze. You can even flip the foot over and massage the top of the foot, which can feel nice. And then after you've given yourself a little bit of a massage, we're going to take the opposite hand and again, place those fingers in between the toes so that you're getting a good wide space between each. And then we stop and we breathe, we pause, sitting up nice and tall and allowing the toes to widen and to spread. We spend a lot of time, especially during the winter months, with our toes crunched up in boots and tennis shoes. So it's good to come to the mat and really pay attention to this area of our body. This is really something good to do to help avoid in the future arthritis, plantar fasciitis, so many issues that we can get in our feet. And this will hopefully help you avoid getting those types of ailments. And so again, we could lift this and roll out the ankle one way and reverse the roll. Could even move the foot around in different ways. And then coming back to the stillness for another breath or two. And then if you'll take a big breath in through the nose. And then as you exhale, start to peel those fingers away from the foot, moving the toes. And just taking a moment to feel your feet, to feel your toes. So that's a really good opening for your toes. Now let's stretch out the ankles and the feet and the arches. So if you'll come to your hands and your knees, just as if you were going to come into a cat-cow. And from here, what we're going to do is we're going to tuck the toes underneath and start to send the hips back just a little bit. You may need to use your hands and your fingers, to tuck the toes underneath a little bit. The baby toe, the pinky toe can sometimes miss out on this stretch if we don't pull it up and under. Once you have that, begin with your fingertips or your hands on the mat. And you may already feel this really good stretch in the arches of the feet. You could stay here, or if you want a little bit more, coming up, sitting up nice and tall, broadening through the chest, and allowing this stretch to happen in the arches of the feet. You may even feel it in the middle of the foot. I've had some folks mention that they can feel it in the outer edge of the foot. In my opinion, where you're feeling it, as long as you're in the position correctly, is where you need it the most. So staying here as long as it's comfortable. If this is uncomfortable, painful, simply place your hands back down on the mat to lessen the amount of weight on your feet, or come out of it entirely, depending on what your needs are. But if you can sit and breathe through this for a few deep, deep breaths, this will be incredibly beneficial for your feet. Plus, everything is connected in our bodies. You know, God made us so intricately and so amazingly. It's amazing to look at how our body is put together. But our feet are very crucial parts of our bodies. And, you know, the foot is connected to the leg, which is connected to the hips, which is connected to, you know, the glutes, the back, everything is connected. And so when we neglect this part of our body and we choose to not, or just don't even think about it, and don't stretch it out, other parts of our bodies can suffer. So it's important to stretch this part of our bodies. So let's take an inhale and walk ourselves forward. Come out of this, roll the feet, and even tapping the feet. Then from here, we're going to place the tops of the feet on the mat, and we're going to start to walk ourselves back. With the fingertips on the mat, begin to lift the knees up. You may not lift very high. You may just lift a teeny tiny bit, and that may be enough for your feet. But as you practice this, you may notice that the knees can lift a little bit more, giving you even more of a stretch in the tops of the foot, into the ankle. Now this is a very big stretch. Definitely feel what is best for your body. If it's too much, lower the knees a little bit. If it's entirely too much, come out of it. Okay, some folks are like, I can only breathe through this 2 times and then I'm done. This can be a really, really big stretch. So definitely listen to your body. Take a big breath in. And then we will release. Walk it forward. Roll out the ankles one way and then the other. And so to intensify this stretch, if you want a little bit more, and if you want to get a little deeper into the ankle region and in the tops of the foot, all you have to do is take your left hand down behind you as if you're coming into a twist. We're going to take the right hand, place it on the knee, and start to lift just this knee. And this will intensify the stretch in the foot. And this isolates the feet, so you're only stretching one foot over the other. So this may be more comfortable. It just depends on your body and your feet. Let's exhale that down. We'll do the same thing on the other side. So the right hand comes down as if you're coming into a twist. We're going to take the left hand to the right knee, lift the knee, stretching out the top of the foot and the ankle. Take a big breath in. Exhale it down. Nice. So let's come to our seat. Extend the legs long. Bounce the legs. Windshield wiper the feet. Just kind of move around. One way and then the other. And then we'll come to seat. Thanks so much for coming to your mat with me and moving and nourishing your feet. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day today.